Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to more Little Goody Two-Shoes. Where last time we went into the woods to rescue Atfel,
Little Goody Two-Shoes,
the boy who got lost in there. And we made the delicious hair cookie. The cookie with hair in it. And now we need to head back to Keiferberg village, which hopefully no longer has crows all over it. Although there were a lot of other spooky stuff happening, so who knows, but let's go. His gift does suit you rather well, lass. There's a snake. Those shoes, they'll guide you to him.
What in the Lord's name?
Who are you? You know who I am, Elise. You're with him, just like that crow. Quite smart, aren't you?
You know...
This is another of his trials, I take it. Why, yes. You're truly so delightful, lass. Fortune, that's what you're after, is it? You've come to taunt me, I'm assuming. I've come to welcome you into my very own garden, Elise. You alone, lass. I won't let that wretched thing into my grove, unlike Vree, that fool. So the witch can't follow us, perhaps? The testament you seek rests deep within my depths, Elise. Am I to meet you there, then? My, how willful you are.
Out with it!
You're trying my patience, that's what. We both know what I'm after, serpents, so get it over with, and... We both know what you're after, serpent, yes. Ah! Is that the other eye now? No, just snake icon, yeah. You're now the bearer of my hex, lassie, fated to meet me in my realm. Show me your resolve, your burning desire for more. Be good, behave, Elise, and I'll welcome you with open arms. You sickening wretch. I'll be awaiting you by the gates of my bedewed forest of berries, Elise. To heck with you. Ugh, this stinks. It's best I don't alarm Rosemary. I have to prepare myself for tonight. I must see this through. Okay, continue to Keiferberg. Also, I am hungry. I'll have to check the prices again, but I think the pretzel might actually be like the most efficient thing, because this costs like 30, and that's for +2/+2. But if I got 2 pretzels, that might be cheaper. I'll have to check if it's the same price, then never mind. First we gotta jump across rivers and stuff. A stream, I guess. Okay, how much does a pretzel cost? I just want to see the price of a pretzel. It is 12. Okay, I think that makes it more efficient. Because if I just buy 2 pretzels, it's only going to cost 24, but it'll give as much food as the thing that costs 30 from the other place. So really, pretzels are the best thing to buy. Keep that in mind for later. See ya, Granny. Okay, what did... Anybody can remember what Mipsy wanted? And did I already buy it? That tender flesh. Also, I can sell a pearl rosary later. Was that the hearty soup she wanted? It might be. We already got it, so we should be good. I think I'm smart enough to buy things ahead of time and not wait until the day of, so... I wouldn't want to be a burden, Freya. Not at all, Mrs. Lisbeth. It would be my pleasure. Ah, good morning, Elise. Is everything alright? Oh, I was inviting Mrs. Lisbeth and the children for dinner. I don't think we're ready for that yet, my dear. Well, the invitation stands, Mrs. Lisbeth. You're welcome anytime you'd like. How's Apfel, Mrs. Lisbeth? Oh, Elise. I have so many questions. He hasn't slept. He keeps mentioning the witch. The witch? What happened in the woods, Elise? I didn't see anything resembling a witch, that's for certain. Apfel's still frightened, Mrs. Lisbeth. My apologies, Elise. It wasn't my intention to insinuate. That's alright, Mrs. Lisbeth. I know you meant no harm. Oh, I hope nothing else happens today. We can only hope. Lots of people out and about today. Oh, I feel I'm losing my mind, lad. We ought to stay strong, Mrs. Marielle. What happened, Mr. Guido? Haven't you heard, Elise? The windmill was ransacked, even though the door was locked shut all night. Oh no, that was me. Huh? I don't want to think about it, if I'm honest. It could have been one of us folks, too, or even the witch. Oh, don't say that, Guido. These folks are losing their minds. I can only hope they don't turn on me. Elise, dear, are you listening? What? Still tired from yesterday? It's best we don't chew it over too much, I'd say. Keeping our mouths shut won't make it go away, Brunhild. Here to lend Flipkuchen a hand, lass. What are you talking about, Mr. Wilhelm? Haven't you heard? The folks are gathering like bees inside that church. Because of the windmill and the grain? Precisely, folks are going crazy. Some say it was the witch, others say it was the devil himself. Wait, Mr. Wilhelm. What does any of this have to do with Flipkuchen? It's best you go see for yourself, lass. I see. Oh, I'm glad I had a word with Flipkuchen this morning. You folks are completely losing your minds. You certainly are, Mrs. McTill. At least, this is to be taken seriously. My, I wouldn't want to blame poor Eugene, but... You'd best not say it, McTill. This is a matter to be handled by Father Hans. Whatever it is, I don't think it's anything to fret about. Never mind that I had the key to the place, so I'm the one that they would blame. How can you say such a thing, lass? Let's try to keep our composure, ladies. Mrs. Odelia's right. We'd best wait for Father Hans' judgment. Cats. Anybody else down here? Nope. Does this lead anywhere, by the way, or is it just... Yeah, just nothing. Save bird, summon. And we'll save over slot 9, leave slot 8 in case I want to go back and do a different life. Okay. We've got to clear out the blockage, folks. It's the only way. If you say so, lad.
You know...
What's wrong with the fountain? It's one thing after another, isn't it, Elise? We think the fountain's obstructed is all. This is all her doing, the witch. She's taken our grain, our children, and now she's after our water. We've discussed this, old lad. Finn and I can give it a look, can't we, Finn? To the best of our ability, but... Old Wilhelm ought to know what's wrong with it. We're to gather here at noon, folks. I want to have a word with all of Keiferberg. You'll need me to lend a hand. You'll need me to lend a hand, Father. Naturally, Gustav. What are we to do about the grain, folks? The grain? You haven't heard, lass? No, I'm yet to fully understand what's going on. Someone was in the windmill last night, Elise. It could have been the wind, or the crows, still. The door was still locked this morning, lad. It was Eugene's responsibility, but... It was the witch, I tell you. Give it a rest, old jokin. I was told you left home early last night, Elise. She was certainly tired, old jokin. Don't be unreasonable. It couldn't have been one of us, folks. What about the weevils?
What?
Weevils, Mr. Ludwig? The flour and grain we had stored away are riddled with beetles, Elise. I'm not certain what we're to do with this grain now. All we can do is avoid throwing it out. All we can to avoid All we can to avoid throwing it out, Ludwig. We'll become completely reliant on Primmeldorf at this rate. That witch has us at her mercy. She has all of Keiferberg in the palm of her hand, and... That's enough, folks. I've heard enough. Finn and Heinrich will take a look at the fountain later. As for the rest of us, we ought to air out that grain and do away with those beetles, starting right now. This is only riling folks up even more. I'd best go see if Lebkuchen's alright. Folks must be swarming her. I like how it just has this a lot now. Little goody two-shoes. Look for Lebkuchen in church. Alright, is this the same conversation, or... Just watch my mouth today. This can't be good. What? Save bird. Yes. Look for Lebkuchen in church. It's all I can do. There are no jobs. Yes, I could go sell stuff, but let's just go to Lebkuchen for now. Okay, yes, people are swarming her. Please try to keep calm, Mrs. Linda. Oh, I know. Won't you have a look at my rosary, Lebkuchen? I seem to have pulled on it a little too tightly this morning. That's no good, Ariane. No good at all. I'll tighten it for you, Mrs. Ariane, but first I ought to...
Lebkuchen.
I can help Lebkuchen.
Please.
I think she said the Lebkuchen the right way, but anyway. Elise. What are you saying, lassie? A maid of all work can't possibly pray our blessings. We need Lebkuchen. Oh, where's Father Hans when we need him most? Father Hans has his own matters to attend to, It's best you visit each and every one of our homes, Lebkuchen. That's... my inn, too. I'll need a prayer in each and every room before sunset. But before then, Lebkuchen, could you...
Out with it!
Will you folks back off a little? My, Elise, can't you see where... she seems to have collapsed. Lebkuchen. Oh, who's going to pray our blessings now? We must fetch Father Hans. Someone get her some water. Yeah, it's like Lebkuchen, but like German accent. Can you hear me? Well, dude. Oh yeah, I'm going to be imminently hungry. I have some bread, I can eat it, don't worry. We'll be taking her home, Elise. She'll be fine. Alright, Mrs. Dorothea. Why don't you pay her a visit in a little while? Of course, I'll be there. I ought to go see her. She didn't deserve any of this. Starvation. Don't eat the hearty soup. I got 5 breads. I got plenty of bread. From Lebkuchen, mostly. But she might not be able to give me food anymore. I won't stand for it, old lads, nor will anyone else in Keiferberg. Why, we ought to start with her, that's what. You're not touching any of our folks either, I'll have you know. What's going on here? I'm not certain this is the best time, lass. Old Jokin's insisting we search folks for the witch's hexes, Elise. You fool, you're giving your time to conceal them. Please, keep calm, old Jokin. What Keiferberg needs isn't calm, Hans, it's leadership. We ought to take matters into our own hands and search everyone. You're searching every lass in town, or it's me you want, isn't it? You're searching every lass in town? I don't think Mr. Gustav would allow Freya to be searched for such things, either. I won't allow anyone in town to be searched, lass. Not even you, old Jokin. Keep that in mind. Search me all you want. It's a matter of respect, old Jokin. I would have thought you'd understand. This isn't the time for respect, Hans. Won't allow it, that's all I have to say on the matter. Suspicion down. You fools, you'll regret this. Okay, not that I was suspicious anyway, but... Kuchin's home and bakery is there. Maybe I'll head there to see if she's there, and then I can either do chickens or apples. I'm at a complete loss. Still can't make sense of the fountain, Mr. Heinrich. Can't make sense of anything these days, that's what. Folks are convinced I had something to do with the windmill. Nonsense, lad. You'd never do such a thing out of spite, we all know it. It could have happened to any of us. You ought to stand your ground, Eugene. You're too kind, Heinrich. Folks are rather restless, that's for certain. With all these going-ons, Elise. Talk to them. Elise, I thought you'd all be in class. Mrs. Dorothea's insisting Apfel should rest for the day. Oh, Elise, did Apfel truly see the... you know... What are you talking about, Mrs. Linda? Apfel says he saw the witch. Jacob, what did I tell you? I'm sorry, Mama. I saw no such thing, Mrs. Linda. The poor lad's still frightened, I'm certain. That said, I wouldn't want my Jacob to believe such notions. Of course, Mrs. Linda. But, Elise, Apfel said you saw her too. Enough of that nonsense, Jacob. But, Mama... Okay, that's where all the different people I can do the jobs for are. I'm gonna check on the Lipkuchen house, although I don't think I can go in. It's the bakery part of the house first. Oh, to think I've been relying on her so heavily these days. On your way to pay Lipkuchen a visit, Elise. I have to, Mrs. Mario. The poor lass must be so overwhelmed. All of Keiferberg goes to her for reassurance, after all. Ah, Elise, Lisbeth here was meaning to ask you. Oh, Mrs. Mario, I wouldn't want to. Ask me what, Mrs. Lisbeth? You see, Apfel's been telling me about what he saw in the woods. Can accuse him of lying or say it's only natural. It's only natural as in like he's all out of it, maybe? Apfel was rather frightened when I found him, so I suppose. Oh, Elise, I truly wouldn't want to imply, but... No, I understand, Mrs. Lisbeth. I told you, Lisbeth, he's been hearing old Jokin spreading this nonsense about town all week. It's only natural he would be frightened of the witch. Even I was frightened in the woods, to be honest. Oh, Elise, I can't thank you enough. Ah, there you are, Elise. How is she, Mrs. Dorothea? She's tired is all, and Mrs. Gretel and I tucked her into bed just now. I suppose it's best I let her rest, but... I'd say so too, Elise. At least we know what caused Lipkuchen's fainting. What do you mean, Mrs. Dorothea? Why, we don't know what caused Apfel's fever. Or why those crows were about town yesterday, or... what truly happened in the windmill, or why the fountain's not working. I suppose. Oh, Elise, it's too much. I guess I can't visit. Oh, there was an item here. A pretzel. Well, I'm gonna eat the floor pretzel. Yay. Okay, let's go save and then do a job. Do I want the apples or the other one, the chickens? I want to avoid the chickens, please. Are you chickens or apples? Must say, I'm rather restless today, Elise. Aren't we all, Mrs. Ella? You're absolutely right. But never mind that now. Won't you check the chickens for me? No, I don't want the chickens. I'd rather do the apples, I think. Have my hands full at the moment. Oh, just my luck. Let's do the apple hunt. Quickly, Elise, won't you pick me some apples? What's the rush, Mrs. Merlin? Why, with all that's going on, lass, Lord knows if we'll even have an orchard tomorrow. Okay, I shall do it. I'd say that's a bit of an overreaction, but... doesn't matter, Elise. Please be quick about it. No rosemary. I'll deal with the consequences. It's too much food that I have to get. She helps. Extreme concentration. Now that's gotta be at least an A, right? Yeah. Which still might be the max rank for all I know, so I am fine with that. You win. Oh, I'm so glad you made it, Elise. Thank you for your time today. She really doesn't seem to be doing so well. Okay, on to... noon. Romantic date available. I know what I have to do. Also, the fountain something? Why is the fountain emanating something? That's story, but it doesn't say that I need to do story. Oh, Rosa Marine's up at the windmill, you know, the site of the crime. I think I'll stay for whatever this is, because it doesn't show up. It probably won't pass time. Then I can go hang out with Rosa Marine. Now that we're all gathered here, folks. Oh, we're losing our minds, Father. This week hasn't been easy for Keiferberg, as we all know. That said, we have decided to ask Primmeldorf for support. Primmeldorf, you say? We cannot compromise the festival at all, as you understand. Are you certain we've considered every option, Father? Keiferberg isn't what it once was, Ludwig. We need their help. We will be patrolling the outskirts in the evenings as well. That should make sleep easier, that's for certain. The protection of Keiferberg and our neighbors is in order, folks. What happened to poor Apfel was bad enough. Oh, Father, but who is to carry out our nightly prayers? Naturally, the church's doors will be open to all regardless. What about the windmill and the fountain? There's still water in the well, Wilma. No need to fret. Oh, but who knows how long that well will last.
Oh, shush it!
It's not as though that fountain's sustaining the well, is it? What would you know, lassie? I'm at a loss regarding the fountain, if I'm honest. Wasn't there some sort of blockage, Mr. Ludwig? We're going to have to disassemble it. Why doesn't she try it, Finn? With those toothpick fingers of hers, I'd say she'd get the job done rather easily. This isn't the time to provoke the lass, Wilma. She's so keen to stick her nose in everything, Ludwig. Might as well teach her a little lesson, wouldn't you say? Let's not get carried away, Wilma. We're not here to. Why, that's a terrific idea. Elise, that's dangerous. You'll get hurt. Oh dear lord, she's getting in there. I'll show you all. A snake, a black snake was in the fountain. Oh, Keiferberg is done for. The witch, it's the witch, the devil himself.
That's enough!
Silence. We can't lose our heads. We must remain calm. You folks can't. Calm? How are we to remain calm, Father? Everyone's dismissed. Back to work. Gustav and I will have a word about this. Well. Muffy is over there. So what's this? I've never seen this icon before. Let's see. Next in the story is to head back to work. Where do I head back to work? I guess just in general, go to work. Well, I'm gonna do a date instead when that time comes. But first, I can talk to people. Do you have a moment, Elise? Certainly, Father. I would like to ask you to go easier on folks. Easier, Father? Practice patience, Elise, now more than ever. You pulling out that serpent this morning has upset some folks. I don't think that's fair, Father, or how is any of that my responsibility? This one sounds softer. Mrs. Wilma was the one who provoked me to do it in the first place. I understand, Elise, but folks are restless. The day has been rather challenging, as you know. I hope you're having this conversation with Mrs. O'Daly as well. Mrs. Bertha, Mrs. Brunhild, and old Joking too. Certainly, Elise. Suspicion down. I am very not suspicious. So, Mipsy, Muffy. She's here.
Muffy?
It's you. I have an offer for you, Elise. Out of my sight, Martha. I've had enough trouble for one day. Oh, but I think you'd like to hear this.
That's so.
Out with it, then. I don't have all day. But it wouldn't be for free. How about you give me some hearty soup? Why, I don't think so, Muffs. We had an agreement, Elise. Here you go. You're lucky I don't want any trouble, Mindy. Out with it now. What did you have to tell me? Oh, you're so generous.
Out with it!
Out with it, Mary, right now before I... You don't have to threaten me, Elise. Why, you threaten me every day, you little... I heard my auntie talking about a search. A search? Folks are losing their minds over that serpent you pulled out of the fountain. They want to search everyone in town.
For goodness sake!
For goodness, I already knew this. I'll put in a good word for you, Elise. But you ought to promise you would bring me some apple strudel tomorrow. Apple strudel? Oh, to heck with you, Molly. Out of my sight. Eek. Mellie's interference can weigh quite heavy. I'd best be prepared for tomorrow. Apple strudel. Apple strudel, apple strudel. Folks drained it to get a proper look, I wager. There she is. Come now, Odelia, there's hardly any need for all that howling. I'm surprised you're not on her side about this, Mrs. Bertha. Odelia's convinced you conjured up that serpent, Elise. We all saw it with our very eyes, Bertha. We saw nothing of the sort. Elise might very well be the witch for all we know. Why, you... That said, we can't point fingers at everyone in town, Odelia. Punishing all of Keiferberg out of fear isn't the answer. Oh, good lord, we're done for. Can't even have a word with Lapuchin either. Because you folks hounded her day and night. Leave Odelia to me, Elise. Keiferberg will be done for if we carry on like this. Before I talk to this lady who has some sort of message or something. I don't know. Same. Ah, Elise, I was looking for you, dearie. Looking for me, Mrs. McTill? You see, I was hoping you'd have a word with Ariane. I've been struggling quite a bit lately, you see. Struggling with what, Mrs. McTill? Oh, it's rather embarrassing, but I can no longer do many of my house chores. This terrible tremor won't let me wash my dishes or my laundry. Mrs. McTill. Won't you tell her I need her to stop by tonight, Elise? I would tell her myself, but this would be the 4th time this week, you see. Of course, Mrs. McTill, I'll let her know. Okay, so I need to find... What's her name? What are you talking about? We ought to search Keiferberg from top to bottom, I say. I'm not sure I agree, old joking. I share your concerns, Mr. Ludwig. I'm certain that serpent simply crawled into the fountain. Can't you see what's transpiring here, you fool? No, I don't think we can, old joking, or you're the only fool here, old joking. I don't think we can, old joking. Everyone else is fretful, of course, but you're the one causing such an uproar. I suppose that snake you pulled out of the fountain didn't help, Elise. As if that's my fault, Mr. Ludwig. I wouldn't put it past you, lass. Lord knows the witches. Blindly accusing folks won't get us anywhere, old joking. You'll see, you fools. No, I don't think we will be seeing much of anything, old joking. You must keep calm, lest Keiferberg catches on fire. Suspicion go down. Okay, on the way to the date. I can go sell stuff and maybe find the apple strudel. It might be over in the other store now. New objective. Find out what happened. Wait, something happened over here now? It's cruel, I tell you. That's all this is. What's cruel, Mr. Heinrich? Blaming Eugene for what happened to the windmill lass. I must confess, I'd rather it be a witch than a neighbor. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but Eugene wouldn't... You, Mr. Heinrich? That serpent you pulled out of the fountain, Elise. Folks couldn't do such a thing. Wouldn't you say it crawled into the fountain by itself? Not likely. Whatever's happening in Keiferberg. It's starting to compromise our livelihood, and we can't have that. We must make the most of those patrols, that's what. Can't go through there. Let me just run over here. Ah, Mrs. Ariane, I was meaning to ask you. Is it Mrs. McTill? She says she needs you to help her out again tonight, yes. The poor thing, old age truly doesn't forgive, does it? When did this start, Mrs. Ariane? Oh, just last week, Elise. I caught her trying to wash her sheets by the well, you see. She could have asked me. Mrs. McTill's rather stubborn, you know that. Tell her I'll be there right after supper. All right, Mrs. Ariane. I will do that after I say hi to these people. I'm glad to see there's some cheer left in you, Lisbeth. I have much to thank you for, Mrs. Marielle. You do look better, Mrs. Lisbeth. We spent a couple hours at Mrs. Marielle's, you see. I knew you could use some time away from these goings-on. I must say, however, I'm a little fearful myself, too. You, Mrs. Marielle? Folks are losing their wits, Elise. We were sewing for the festival, and even then, every conversation led back to the crows or Apfel or the fountain. I see. Thinking ill of each other, accusing each other. I've just about had it. Oh, it's you, Elise, was it? I'm buying. They got roast turkey, they got spiced... Yeah, they don't have this, the apple fritter, whatever it was called. Should probably get another St. Walpurgis oil, but not right now. Are you sure that's all, sweetheart? Yeah, wait, no, selling. How would you like a pearl rosary? There we go, now we got 70. Sure, that's all, sweetheart. Goodbye, Miss Wilma. You have such lovely features, did you know that? Thank you. Okay, now let's run back to that other lady. let her know that we relayed the message. Did you find her, Elise? Mrs. Ariane said she'll come by right after supper, Mrs. McTild. Thank you, Elise. Here's something for you. Item get acquired 1 silk purse. You don't have to, Mrs. McTild. Oh, it's the least I can do, my dear. There will come a day when I truly won't be able to do anything after all. Mrs. McTild. What is that? Is that another selling thing? A dainty, silky purse, threaded in red ribbon and decorated with a flower motif. May be sold for a good price. Imagine she gives me a nice gift and then I just immediately sell it. Let me check the store, actually, and find the apple fritter or whatever it was. It was apple something. If it's not in either store, then I don't know where to get it. What can I do for you? What do you got? Apple strudel, that's what I was looking for. Flaky apple strudel, neatly decorated and sliced into thick portions. Looks pretty legit, it's for food. So even more powerful than Lipkuchin. I don't have enough money for it. No, wait, I do. That was after buying it, only have 30. Okay. Some pretzels. No, I'm good for now. I've got a bit of bread. I can probably last until tomorrow. Now let's check the alleyways. Doesn't seem to be a lot here. Freya's here. It's awful, isn't it, Elise? What Father Hans said earlier? Everybody's talking ill of each other behind their backs, Elise. Isn't that how it's always been? How I know all that. Yet you hate it, is that it? I do hate it, Elise. That snake is going to get you quite the earful too, I'd wager. Oh, to heck with that nonsense, Freya. You'll never reach old age if you keep fretting like this. It's not as though I can help it. She's well on her way to becoming just like them, that's what. I've seen the toll this is taking on Papa, too. Mr. Gustav does have a lot to worry about, I guess. He hasn't been spending much time at home, either. Always talking with Father Hans, with the lads. Folks aren't going easy on him, that's for certain. It's the Fey ring. Okay. Anybody up here? Does the pig still have the saddle? I don't see it on there anymore. Okay, to the windmill. We can have our meeting at the site of the crime. Can I go in there? I suppose I won't be getting in here anytime soon, huh? Can't go in. It's probably best I don't. Let's hang out. There she is. I'll spend some time with her. You were right, Elise. It really is a lovely view.
For goodness sake.
You've seen better on your travels, I wager. Oh, but Keiferberg is one of the nicest towns I've been to. Trying to vex me, are you? Oh, I didn't mean to. I know you didn't, Rosemary. I'm fed up with it, is all. With Keiferberg? With all this nonsense we're dealing with, too. That said, I still haven't made up my mind about leaving it all behind somehow. Elise. I'm going to such lengths, and yet... I'd say doubting yourself is a good thing. You're different, Rosemary. You've always had something to look forward to, while I... Even so, Elise. I find myself thinking about certain things living here with you. Such as how I wish I'd found you sooner and have the chance to share memories with you. Just the way Lipkuchin and Freya did. You've only been here a few days, Rosemary. Had you been born here, you'd be just as sick of it as I am. I suppose, but I've never lived in a town. This sense of community is something I've never experienced. I've lived here all my life and never experienced it either, Rosemary. Not since Granny Hall passed away, at least.
You know...
Say, Rosemary, about the stars you keep mentioning.
Yes.
Ah, I can tell you all about it, Elise. You lived you here of all places, or don't you find it strange? That you hear about this rotten Keiferberg. Elise, I've had enough of this conversation. No, I chose the wrong thing, didn't I? Back to work. I should have picked the other one. Ow. Okay, I will reload. What did I do without saving? I might have to go buy the stuff again. Talk to Frey on the way, maybe. Quick, reload. I'm sorry, everyone. I second-guessed myself, because I'm like, oh, the left one was the right one last time. Maybe that's the right one again. Okay, that was before I even sold the Pearl Rosary. I didn't even do this part yet? Did I miss a lot? Okay. Let me do all this again. I'm sorry, everyone. And I'll talk to everyone again because I'm not sure if it matters. I think it's just bonus conversations, but... Talk to you. And then I'll go pass the information back in a second. Talk to you. Okay, go in here and sell a rosary. Here's a rosary. Though I'm gonna get a fancy silk thing from the other quest, which is worth even more. But for now, just do everything I did before. Run back to the other lady, get the silk purse thing. Okay, do that. Do this. I at least did the Mipsy stuff already, right? Yeah, I don't see any Mipsies. Muffy. Maggie, whatever her name is. No, I did get the pretzel that was earlier in the day, right? The hidden pretzel. Fine, give me an apple strudel. Run. This time actually save, and then I guess I'll pass Freya and stuff again. Because the two options were, isn't it strange, or I brought you here. I thought maybe if I say the strange thing, she'll just like insult her and say it's weird. Then that'll end the conversation, so I didn't pick that one. But that was the right one. Oh my goodness. If only there was a save spot. Wait, there is a safe spot at the windmill. I could save right there. And not have to run all the way back if I get it wrong. If only I had remembered that last time. Wait, is there a safe spot? I don't see one. I guess I was wrong. If it weren't for Granny Gretel, I'd have to make my own bread every other day. A workbench sits outside, typically used by the townsfolk of Keiferberg to bake newly milled flour. I suppose I won't be getting in here anytime soon, huh? Yes, ow. I could have sworn there was a save. Maybe it was only for the, like, boss thing there was. Anyway, there she is. Spend time with her. Quick skip. Do. Don't you find it strange? All this nonsense about your fate being with me? Not at all, Elise. I've said it before, you feel like home to me.
I see.
Not at all, huh? I do wish I was born here, if I'm entirely honest. I've come all this way and our paths have finally crossed, yet. Me too, Rosemary.
Now that you
I feel at
mention
home with you, like I've known you for a long time.
Elise.
Elise. I must say, Keiferberg isn't as bad with you around. Won't you give me your hand?
For goodness sake.
You've read it once already, haven't you? I could be more thorough. It may bring you some peace of mind. Alright.
Rosemary?
Rosemary,
It's fate, Elise.
you're my fated soulmate, Elise.
For goodness sake.
Good grief, you've said that already.
Oh,
I know you still don't quite believe me, but my feelings for you are genuine, Elise.
for goodness sake.
You hardly know me, Rosemary. Your feelings can't possibly be. Yet they are, Elise. They're very much genuine.
I see.
They're so embarrassing. I wish we had more time to get to know each other, and even if this wasn't my fate, I would still choose to be with you, Elise.
Rosemary.
Rosemary. Oh, Elise, you're red as a beet. Indeed she is, look at that face.
For goodness sake.
Why, you... Actually, it's kind of pink. I've had it with this nonsense. I'm heading back to work.
Yes.
Wait for me, Elise. Let's go to the creek tomorrow afternoon.
For goodness sake.
I'll be there. Now hurry up. There, that proof of love. Libris Bues. Strong bond. Afternoon. Meet Rose and remain by the creek. I assume tomorrow. Now I can either help chop wood or help with apples. We just did the apples, so I'm probably gonna do the wood. So let me open this thing. Okay, there is only one more heart for her. I assume we're near the end of the game, though, then. That would be the last date with her. Or maybe they give you enough time to date multiple people. I don't know. But Rose and Marine is almost maxed. Wait, there's 3 jobs? No, it just said 3, but there's 2. The wood is all the way back down by the water well, I guess. Can't say I'm glad to hear that, lad. Hear what, Mrs. Elma? That I'm leaving Glass for good. I thought you'd stay, Mr. Eugene. Don't think so, unfortunately. I would leave too if I were your age and with these goings-ons. You, Mrs. Elma? Keiferberg's changed, Elise. Things were different back in my day. More prosperous. Primmeldorf has more to offer young folks, that's for certain. Who would have thought? Yeah. Whoa, what's with this nice view? Does it always do this? It's cool. Elise. What's the matter, Rosemary? Folks have been looking at me all day, is all. You don't think they know? They don't know anything, Rosemary. We can't forget you're still a stranger to Keiferberg. I don't remember getting these looks on Monday, Elise. They're wary because of what happened today, is all. I suppose. Do. Yes, Elise, I'm going to sell you a fancy purse now. I meant to go to sell, not buy. Okay, that also gives us 30. Now we're back up to 60. And for buying, let me check the prices. Yeah, like, I could get a pretzel for 12 that heals you. It's like a $20 value, but only $12. Pretzels seem to be the thing. I could get more St. Walpurgis oil to stop myself from going insane in the far future, perhaps. I think I will do that. In case I ever go insane again. That out of the way. Who do I want to help? The wood, but however, I'm gonna go save first in case something happens, and then I feel bad and want to reload. But I'll only do that for the dates, really. There she is, Aphel. Why don't you ask her? Ask me what? Aphel's going over what happened yesterday, Elise. He's rather tired, and you saw her too, Elise. I know it. Who did you see, Aphel? I didn't see anyone, Aphel. Oh, Elise, what are we to do about this? I saw her. She had yellow eyes, died. You're tired, Aphel. I know it was frightening. I was frightened, too. Elise is right, Aphel. It's best you rest now. Why don't you go play with Grun and Jacob? What's your job? You're the apple one. Okay, well, what the... Never seen it overflow like this. It's not even raining. Let's keep calm, folks. Losing our tempers isn't going to fix it. What's wrong with the fountain now? Could you have damaged it earlier, Elise? That could very much be the case. I don't think so, but... even if she had, it wouldn't be enough to cause this. What are we to make of this, then, Heinrich? How am I to know such a thing? It's not only the fountain, either. The well is also. The well? It's overflowing, Elise. How can a well overflow? I'm at a complete loss. Let us wait and see. Why, I'm not about to sit and wait for my home to be flooded. I must say, I don't agree, Father. It might be all we can do. It truly is all we can do, Heinrich. Losing our minds won't help. We must persevere. This isn't looking too good for us here in Keiferberg, is it? Glad I went here to save. Got to see this. Oh. That's what it's all about, I tell you. There's no such ill will in Keiferberg, Wilma. What's the matter? Oh, I'm certain he has something to do with it. Wilma's convinced someone's trying to sabotage her in Elise. It's that Eugene. I'm certain. He's jealous my business is still up and running, that's what. Mr. Eugene, or spare us the pity party. Not Mr. Eugene. Are you aware that what you're saying, Mrs. Wilma? Clearly not, Elise. Wilma's letting all this get to her. Aren't we all, Marlene? You folks are too afraid to name names, that's what. It's a matter of respect, Wilma. Respect for whom? The witch? What are we to do then, Wilma? It's best I shut my mouth before they turn on me. Suspicion go down. So it's easy to not be suspicious. Just don't insult people. Okay, now let's go to the water well and see if it's also overflowing. Hopefully it's not lagging too bad or something like the recording. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. It is indeed overflowing here. Can I look at this? Anything going on? Keiferberg's washing well. Nothing's going on there. We're not dealing with regular folk here. Oh, but what if it's not folk we're dealing with, Mr. Bernhard? Lord knows what could happen to Keiferberg at this rate. It's too much to keep track of, folks. The horses at Fell are grain being riddled with weevils, and now this flooding. I must say, I'm at a loss myself. You, Mr. Gustav? All of Keiferberg is confused, Elise. Rather than confused, I'd say, or why, that's no surprise, is it? You're also entertained with this witch. No, I said it wrong. Elise. Can't say I don't agree, but it's to be expected folks would fret, Elise. What's that done for Keiferberg so far, Mr. Gustav? All this fretting, day in and day out, and for what? Even you ought to admit this isn't normal, lass. Truly, denying the witch exists at this point only makes you... We shouldn't go that far, Brunhild. She's right, Mechtild. If Elise isn't against the witch, then that means... It's best we leave it at that, folks. Oh no. I just said I was so good, and then I failed. Whatever, it's only slightly suspicious. We'll be fine. Ah, how glad I am to see you, Elise. I must thank you for your hard work as always, lass. What do you mean, Mrs. Mario? Why, you're still working hard despite everything. Lord knows what would be of me if you stopped helping. I suppose. That said, Elise, won't you please get me some firewood? Of course, Mrs. Mario. I'll be back in a moment then. Take your time, my dear. No, Rosemary. I will literally die of starvation if I take her. Okay. Just chop and kick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ow. Hopefully it's at least a B. Okay, I can live with a B. I must get better at that one. No, try again. Give me some money. Pass. Well done, Elise. This will do for tonight. Here you go. Use it wisely. I feel like I'm getting less money now. I can't remember how much I was getting at the beginning, though. Thank you, Mrs. Mario. I may have to ask you for more tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, on to dusk. And yes, I am starving. I know, I will eat bread. Do not fret. Let's see. Bread. Save the apple strudel. In fact, eat another bread. Caleb Kuchin won't give me bread tonight, maybe. Which will be very bad. It's a nice moon. Spotted with isolated homes. Okay. Meow cat. Okay, let's see. 42. I should go buy some pretzels. Maybe some regular bread, even. Yeah. Well, let me just check what they have in the store again. So right now, bread is... For pure, just you need food, bread is fine. I'm buying... Let's see... Hearty soup, we've already confirmed it's not as good as a pretzel. Roast turkey is... maybe slightly more efficient, but not great. Yeah, that'll be it. Let's go check the other store. Buy a pretzel or two, and then... bread. Since, yeah, no lab kitchen tonight. In fact, I have no mission, so I assume just go back home. Or something will happen along the way. Like with the flooding and stuff. Have dinner with Rose and Marine. Are you joining the patrols, lass? Why would I, Mr. Wilhelm? Makes two of us then, I see. The lads won't let me go, the ingrates. Ingrates? I'm very much capable despite my age. Ah, I see. You too, Elise. You rescued the poor lad, and yet... if anyone should be out there, it'd be you. Speaking of which, Gustav, we ought to head on home, I'd wager. And don't dawdle, Elise. Everyone's to stay home this evening. Of course, Father. It's important we keep a good grasp on who's out and about tonight. What do you mean, Mr. Gustav? We're taking turns on patrol, you see. We must make certain the same thing doesn't happen again. What happened with Apfel, I understand? That's why you and your cousin had best stay home, Elise. Certainly, Mr. Gustav. This ordeal has been going on long enough. It's about time you do something, that's for certain. What about these children? Maybe Elise could give it a try, Gru. Give what a try? Apfel won't talk to anyone about it. He won't eat, he won't sleep, he won't even talk to Mommy. This can't be good. Do you think you can try talking to him, Elise? Apfel says you saw it too, Elise. Saw what? He said there was someone else in the woods, a lass he didn't recognize. Alas? So you don't know anything about it, Elise? Of course not. Don't be silly, Jacob. Apfel says he doesn't want to talk about it, but... That's alright, Grun. Granny Marlene said he'll talk when he's ready. I see. Let me save at Savebird, and then I will end this episode here. Everyone, if you enjoyed this, then liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing is all appreciated. The most important thing, though, that thou must absolutely do is have a nice day. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.